Hola, hola, bienvenidos a todos. ¿Cómo estamos? Ojalá que todo bien. Hopefully, all is well. And I know I'm doing well. I'm doing spectacular because I'm back to co host our second episode of Radio Pulso, also known as the Boyle Heights Beat podcast. And to our loyal listeners who tuned in, thank you so much. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed our first episode so much that you're back here with us. And just a refresher, my name is Kate Valdez. And like I said, I'm super, super glad to be here today. Joining me today is my co host, Kevin Martinez, and our soundboard engineer, April Aguilera, who is actually a current Boyle Heights Beat student. She is a junior at Lincoln High School, so we're just super excited to have her here with us today. How are you doing today, Kevin?
I'm doing really great. I feel like this week flew by real quick. But yeah, just very happy to be here and doing our second podcast.
Great. So, with that being said, I just want to let our audience members know that we are a radio program and podcast brought to you by the dependable and the reliable community news outlet, Boyle Heights Beat. This is basically a program that trains local high school students within the Boyle Heights and East LA area to publish a community newspaper. And it also produces this very own podcast. So, why don't we let the audience know what we have going on today, Kevin?
Yeah, definitely. So, as you all may recall, our goal for our Radio Pulso podcast is to focus on important themes that highlight Boyle Heights, its essence, and the people who make it beautiful. So, for this month's theme, we are focusing on local small businesses and restaurant owners. Today, who will be interviewing Ralph Walde, who's a co-owner of Aymara Peruvian Kitchen, and Julian Anguiano, who's the owner of Mystyx Kafe. And speaking of, what are some of your favorite eateries or cafes in the area, Kate?
For sure. I think one of the OGest restaurants for me has always been Arctic Hotspot. I've been going to Arctic since I was a freshman at Roosevelt, considering that it's right across the street.
Right.
Every morning I used to be late to first period because of Arctic Hotspot. I love their Cafe de Olla. Shout out to Christina and Jonathan. We really appreciate y'all at Arctic Hotspot. So much so that we actually have them catering for us at Boyle Heights Beat, and all our students end up leaving the program loving Arctic and just going to Arctic as often as they can. What about yourself, Kevin?
I was gonna say Arctic Hotspot. I've been going to them since I was also a high school student. Cristina, her husband, and también su sister, Mayra. I met their sister, and yeah, they're just a lovely family who really care about their customers. So yeah, you took mine away. Thanks. I would have to say Milpa Grill. Milpa Grill is a spot I've been hitting up lately. Their burritos are really bomb. They do have like a breakfast, lunch, and cafe as well in there. It's like a shared kitchen. It's really dope. And if y'all are interested, check out their breakfast burrito, their breakfast Brussels sprout burrito. It is amazing.
I've never actually had it, so I'm going to take your recommendation to heart and I'm going to hit them up soon.
Yes, let me know what you think.
For sure. But aside from that, Kevin, it's my understanding that you actually have a co-op of your very own cafe.
Yeah. Thank you for that quick plug. So yeah, me and three or two other friends, Ellie, Jasmine, we have a worker-owned cafe business. We're called Pueblo Cafe, and y'all can find us on Instagram, Pueblo Cafe LA. And we are inspired by the Zapatistas, and really, we just want to share our love for coffee in a way that is sustainable, that honors the local mom and pop stores in South Central. We are based in South Central, right? But we do also have like pop-ups and events in other parts of LA, like in Monte. We are planning something in the in the community too. So yeah, y'all can give us a follow.
That's super dope. And to our listeners, please stay tuned. I actually had the privilege to interview Kevin and Ellie and Jasmine about their co-op Pueblo Cafe. And I just learned so much. And I was just truly inspired listening to the three of them speak about their passion for coffee. And it really inspired my entrepreneur aspirations of opening my own boba shop with my girlfriend. So we're all just trying.
Shop.
I know,
What?
right? How
Okay.
exciting. Imagine a boba shop in Boyle Heights, y'all.
We need it. Well, thank you for sharing, Kate. So to begin with today, we have Aymara Peruvian Kitchen, Ralph. And just to give some context, this kitchen is a genuine Peruvian concept located in East LA, serving flavorful Peruvian cuisine using only fresh ingredients. Ralph Walde Vargas Jr. Is that correct?
Uh,
uh, arrived in Los Angeles from Peru in 2008. And Caroline, his wife, arrived in Los Angeles from France in 2011. Today we'll be interviewing Ralph, and but one thing for sure is that they're both passionate about food, travel, and hospitality. They actually met for the first time in a restaurant in 2011, from what we've heard, and they have combined both 10 years of hospitality management and restaurant experience. Ralph is a proud graduate of LA City College. So, Ralph, thank you so much for being here today with us. I've driven so many times through your location, and I gotta be honest, every time I drive by, like, I want to go, but like I haven't had the chance to go. But I'm just really excited that you're here today. And for context, our theme for this month's episode is focusing on highlighting small businesses and restaurants in the community. So, how are you doing today, Ralph?
Good. Thank you very much. Thank you for the having me here. Really excited. We just opened our mortar actual location in East LA in Cesar Chavez and Gage. We're really happy to serve this community.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. So tell us before we dive into your restaurant. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, like about your background?
So I was born and raised in Peru, in Lima. In 2008, I decided to come to the United States to study. I decided to move, and I went to college here, LACC. So I was always interested in hospitality, restaurants, hotels, and then we were working hard with my wife to open a restaurant, even before the pandemic.
Mm,
We were trying to find a location, the perfect spot, and then we decided to open a ghost kitchen
mm.
during the pandemic. And then we opened a ghost kitchen actually in Lincoln Heights. We were there for a
Okay.
year, but it was only my wife and me. So mom and pop, or house, wife and husband.
Definitely. Wow. So you had this restaurant cooking up, right? Like in the middle of the pandemic, and you just opened. Like, how long ago did you just open?
So we opened as a ghost kitchen during the pandemic in October 2020.
Okay.
We both lost our jobs, so we didn't have anything else to lose. So we wanted to open a restaurant, but in remembering, October 2020, it was no outdoors, no indoors, everything was to go. So it was like, why not? It's a perfect time to do it. And, we decided to do it, and we just, my wife and me, start, cooking from scratch.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I was doing a quick Google search, and I know there's not that many Peruvian restaurants in just this area, right? Like especially in Boyle Heights, East LA, which tends to be a predominantly Mexican community, right? So, um, what was what influencing your decision to like choose East LA?
Actually, before we moved from Lincoln Heights to East LA, I did a study, and about 70 to 80% of people who used to order through our website used to come from East LA or Boy Heights.
Oh wow.
So our customers were already here. Yes, because everything was, DoorDash, Uber Eats, GrabHub. We used to deliver as well.
Right.
So, collecting all the data. So it's like, why not here? Everybody who ordered from us are already living here.
Mm, wow. That yeah, I mean that makes complete sense then when you opened here in East LA. And how has it been going since you opened your business? Like how's that journey been?
At the beginning, to be honest, it was a little tough because I'm not a chef. My wife is not a chef. Actually, my wife cooks really delicious, but we never been in the school as a chef. But we decide, so we talked with my grandma. My grandma taught us through Skype. So he
Mm,
taught us from Peru, taught us how to cook.
wow, from Skype,
Yeah, from Skype.
through Skype, yeah.
So we did like maybe 20, 30 classes, and then we practicing until the point it's like, oh, now it's good. It tastes good. So let's do it. So the beginning is always tough because we didn't have a restaurant. We used to be in a really nice big building, but it was only our QR outside of the building. So people who pass through, scan it, order.
Mm.
And we have social media, Instagram and everything, but we also have our neighbor used to be Sina Vegan.
Oh yeah, yeah. That I've had their food.
So we were really in the same building, just next to the next door. So people who is like, oh, one big, oh, there is, another option. So people start coming to us, and we start growing slowly.
Wow, that's That's interesting. I'm just fascinated at the fact that you learned these recipes through, and through basically video calling, right? That's pretty impressive.
Mm.
And so I'm curious now to learn more about your menu. So you talked about your grandma, like being your inspiración, right?
Mm.
Like what else like inspires you like to choose the menu that you do have? Or can you talk to us a little bit more about your menu?
Sure. So actually, it's inspiration of my grandma and my wife grandma. That my wife grandma is from Normandy, from north of France. So she used to teach my wife how to cook. So it's a mix between my grandma and her grandma. This is our inspiration, but with a French techniques. So if you go to our restaurant, it's gonna be a little different because you feel it's a little cozy, small, but it's like my grandma cooked for you. So you're feeling family. The recipes are everything from scratch. Even the French fries are cut uh, by hand every day.
Wow.
Every salsa, every menu, is small batches so people can enjoy every item.
Right.
So our menu with the most popular ones are ceviche. We use a white fish cod. It's a mix, but Peruvian cuisine in the same time is a mix. So the ceviche is a mix between Peru and Japanese influences. The best seller is lomo saltado, which is beef with some tomatoes, French fries, onions sauteed in a wok with some house-made red wine sauce, oyster sauce, soy sauce, but everything. We try to buy everything local, and we use Peruvian products as well. And then the other one that everybody love is pesto pasta with chicken milanesa.
Okay.
And everything is a la minute. Nothing is prepared. So everything is, hot and warm and served on the table. Or if you prefer to go.
It's like made on the spot.
Made on the spot. And you probably, because the place is so small, you will see me cook. Or my wife cook.
Wow.
So it's kind of interesting because, normally you pay $1,000 or $100 to see a person to cook for you.
Yeah.
No, over there you just, hey, oh, this is my plate, my lomo is coming, and then we also bring your food to you. So we try to do a connection. We try to, show, everybody we are part of the neighborhood and we're happy to everybody comes to us.
So like from the moment you greet the customer, process the transaction, and then you cook the food to delivering it to them, like that sounds like a pretty authentic connection, right, that you're making with the customer.
Yeah, so it's not like a franchise that you will see, a menu and then put your credit card, pass it. Nothing about against them. Yes,
Right.
You will say, hey, what's up, Ralph? How are you? Hey, can you get a lomo? Sure, I do it for you. I prepare the serve it to you. So we have a lot of connection, and all the small businesses and people around they come us, and then we start doing caterings and weddings around in the neighborhood.
So you also do caterings now?
Yeah, we do catering. Actually, next Saturday we have a catering of 150 people.
Oh wow!
We have a few more weddings coming during the year as well, and everybody's around
from the community.
For the community,
Wow, that's amazing. That's really cool. So just to recap, so lomo saltado or ceviche, the definitely the most popular one. Lomo saltado, and you said a pasta.
It's called in Peru tallarín verde.
Tallarín verde.
In Peru they call tallarín to the noodles.
Okay.
So it's a verde because it's green. So it's a pesto pasta with chicken milanesa. This is a Peruvian Italian influence. So everything is mixed in Peru.
Definitely.
We have a lot of influence around the world.
Right.
For everywhere.
Wow. And I'm curious about drinks. Do you have any specialty drinks that you make at the restaurant?
So for the moment, we import all the drinks from Peru. So we have maracuyá, chicha morada, emoliente, mango from Peru. This is nectar from Peru. It's made in Peru, and then we import it from here, and we offer to the menu.
That's awesome. It's funny because I just recently learned maracuyá is passion fruit. I did not know that. So I definitely want to try that product from Peru. Sounds really delicious and refreshing. Right. Yeah. All right. So you mentioned a little bit, right? Like, I mean, just opening a business during the pandemic, right, has been a challenge, like in and of itself. And it sounds like, you've established a customer base, like you're expanding to more people, right? People from the community are investing in your business. Like, what are your like next steps or like future, goals for this like business?
So actually, I was saying about 6 weeks, we're gonna open our outdoor patio.
Oh wow.
So we're gonna have an outdoor patio, and we also right now we have indoors, so we're gonna be outdoor patio. We're extending our menu a little, a little more. So now we have, this is not a limited menu, we have about 15, 20 options to choose from. But everything that we do, we do it with love. We wanna do it, yeah, that you eat it and you enjoy it.
Hmm.
So we wanna do it slowly, bring more items to our menu.
Right. And speaking of more items, I did forget to ask about desserts. Do y'all have any specialty desserts?
Yeah, so we have two desserts made in house. One is a Peruvian flan. My wife make it from scratch. It's a little fluffy and has a little of vanilla, caramel, and pisco. You
Mm.
will get drunk, don't worry. Everybody can drink it. It's boiled already. So,
Right.
and then we have alfajores.
Alfajores.
Alfajores is a small cookies. Some people call it French macarons.
Mm.
No, Peruvian macarons.
Peruvian, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's like a little cookies with dulce de leche inside and some sugar powder on the top.
Mm. Do you happen to have any of those with you right now?
No.
That sounds really delicious.
Yeah, and we also do. We have a Peruvian tamales as well.
Oh wow. So what's I guess the twist to the Peruvian tamales?
The Peruvian tamale is a little bigger, maybe double size. It's almost, to be honest, almost a pound
Oh wow.
inside. We make it with chicken, and we use ají amarillo, which is a traditional yellow hot bell pepper from Peru,
Mm.
and then we cover it with some plantains. How you call it? We cover it with plantains,
Mhm.
lift,
La hoja?
yeah, la hoja de plátano.
La hoja de plátano. Yes, yes, yes. Oh wow. And do you take orders for like tamales like in bulk too? Like if people
Oh
wanna
yeah,
order?
yeah, yes, yeah. Actually, we're having a wedding next week. They order for 120 people tamales, plus ceviche, plus lomo saltado.
Wow.
You know,
Busy week coming up.
it is.
That's awesome. Well, I definitely have to try out your food in the next week or so. I'll probably take my coworkers there for
Yeah,
lunch.
please.
And just a couple more questions before we head out. So I'm really once again still fascinated, right, by just the process that you learned these recipes like through Skype. Like, how did you test it out? Like, did you offer it to like other family members? Like, did you have your grandma like also like test the food eventually, or like, how?
Not my grandma because my grandma was in Peru,
Right, right.
but we started inviting all our friends. You
Mhm.
know, every other day it's like, hey, I wanna do lomo saltado. Who else wanna come? And then our friends come, and we have friends for all around the world. So so it's nice because everybody can give you a different perspective.
Mhm.
And then we were, oh no, this, so everybody have a feedback, and then we take the feedbacks really good. So every time that somebody gives a feedback, we want to improve it. And then we know we were tasting so many with yeah, a lot of time, maybe 20, 30 times, invite our friends to our place to practice that recipe.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Well, any words that you would like to share with our listeners about your restaurant and anything you'd like them to know so they can come and try out your food?
Yeah, so we're in East LA. We're in Cesar Chavez and Gage. 3818 is Cesar Chavez. You are welcome to come anytime. It's always my wife Caroline and me in the restaurant. Please say hi, and we hope to see everybody soon.
Awesome.
We're open for the moment Tuesday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And do you have a Instagram?
Yeah, our Instagram is Aymara underscore Peruvian_kitchen.
Awesome. And people also that want to like get food delivered, they can order it through an app.
Yeah, they can order through our website, or we have a different options they can order depending how far, how close they live or how far.
Awesome. Well, Ralph, it's been an honor talking to you. Thank you so much once again for joining us today. And to our listeners, hopefully you all you all pay Aymara's Peruvian Kitchen a visit soon. I know I for sure will. But yeah, thank you so much, Ralph. I appreciate it.
And now we're going to move on to our interview with Mystyx Kafe. So, Mystyx Kafe is a street pop up located in the East LA community. The coffee stand carries a certain spooky and goth aesthetic, but it doesn't stop there. Their dark drinks, often shaken with sin, will surely introduce you to the dark side. The mastermind behind it is Julian Anguiano, who was born and raised in the East LA community. He actually attended both Garfield High School and their rival high school, which is Roosevelt. So, talk about being controversial. And with more than 7 years of experience in the coffee business, 30-year-old Julian set out on opening his very own cafe business while combining his love for his community and the goth subculture. He knew his purpose was to brew his own creations with a spooky spiritual energy. Now, it has been nearly 2 years since his conception of Mystyx Kafe, and I've been lucky enough to experience the magic of his drinks, and I'm such a huge fan. So it is my pleasure to introduce Julian, who is here with us today. Hi, Julian. Thank you so much for being here. We are extremely excited to have you share a bit more about your story and your cafe business. Our theme for this month's episode is focusing on highlighting small restaurants and cafes or pop ups in the community. So let's get started. First off, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Of course, of course. So, I just want to delve right in and hear a little bit more about your business, about Mystyx. Can you tell me a little bit of that, what that journey has looked like for you so far?
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. We're still here. This year feels like we are in a row. What I mean by that is like, when we first started, it was just something small. Um it just kind of blew up somehow, so real quick, and then to the point where the name was a little too bigger than us. We just had like just this cute little lemonade stand when we first started. This year we upgraded. We have a pretty good espresso cart machine, and we are there now from Tuesday through Saturday, 7 to 12, and it's been pretty incredible. This is our fourth week with this upgrade, and we've definitely have done a lot of changes from the beginning to now. Right now, it just feels more serious. Before, it was just a little bit more like for fun. This whole thing was so unplanned in the beginning, but now it's just like it took off, and we're just having fun now, and we're just kind of, I think that's kind of what it's all about, just having fun at what you're doing, and just it's great stuff. Sorry.
For sure. No, you're
This
good.
is my first time ever doing a talk radio, by the way.
Welcome, welcome. It's all good. No, yeah, that's great. And I've actually been able to witness that. So it's just really exciting for me, as I'm sure it's even more exciting for you because it's your own business. But I just love to see how far you've all come. And my next question is, what made you choose East LA for your pop up location? Like, what does East LA mean to you, or why were you motivated to start up at East LA?
Well, you see, I was born and raised in East LA, and then I just kept right after. Like, let's just say it kind of started high school, got into this whole gothic and like metal music, and it just never went away. And like I said, I was born and raised here, and it's been pretty convenient for me to just kind of sell coffee literally 2 blocks down the street from where I live, so my commute isn't bad. I mean, it's kind of where it starts right now. This year, it feels like we're ready to, I don't know, tour.
For sure. So you talked a little bit about finding this like goth subculture in like your younger years when you were in high school. So I'm curious, how and when did how and when did you discover your passion for coffee? Like, were they intertwined between the two, or were they like their own separate things?
Well, I was working at this coffee shop, or this juicery called Creation in Beverly Hills, and I just kept visiting a lot of other different coffee shops, and along the way I worked for other coffee shops too, and I got kind of what do you say, a little, I don't want to say bored, sounds messed up to say to the rest of the coffee shops, but I got a little bit I guess bored, right?
Right. That's totally
To
fair.
the way it just like looked, and I wanted to make a little a little twist to this coffee scene, and with our own gothic aesthetic, and somehow I'm able to just put them in together, and it just, I don't know, it's fun.
Of course.
Different.
So is it safe to say that you started experimenting your own recipes and your own concoctions when you were working with these other cafes?
No, I was just kind of like following up whatever they had to do, and then from there I was just learning, and then from there I just kind of did my own thing.
For sure. And how does that look like? What does that process look like? Making your own recipes and coming up with your own creations, like that to me is like truly inspiring. So I kind of want to dig a little deeper into what that looks like for you as a barista.
After a while, just kind of doing it every day, it just becomes like second nature.
Yeah.
And I mean, when it comes to coffee, it's just pretty much coffee grinds and steamed milk and etc. When it comes to refreshers, then that's where it comes to different flavors. And then when it comes to like teas, that's when it gets a little bit more fun. You get to play around with more flavors, and I don't know, it's
Of
fun.
course. So you talk about these teas and coffee grounds and everything. So where do you actually source your coffee from, and what's the thought process behind it? Like, how do you choose the vendors that you collaborate with?
You see the coffee market's pretty big. You could just shop at anywhere and just kind of, uh, you know what to pick and you can, what to grind. We like to choose Pasquini's coffee. It's called Portioli. It's roasted in Italy, and it's actually pretty good quality coffee, and it's been actually pretty well, going well.
Okay. And I want to delve a little deeper into what inspired you to pursue this goth subculture vibe slash aesthetic for your cafe.
Well, like I said, we need something a little different, and just it's just nice to see something in our community, something just out of, I don't know,
The
something.
ordinary,
Yeah.
almost. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I can personally say that that was what called my attention the very first time that I saw your stand. So it's really started like a fan base, and I mean, every time I go to Mystyx, it's just always bustling with people. So it's paid off. I can say that 100%. So what advice would you give to an aspiring entrepreneur, who's trying to get things going on for themselves as well, as you've already done it yourself?
Just don't give up. Just keep doing. Just keep on going. It's just there's hard times and there are good times, and just as long as you love what you are doing and not for the money, then I think you're good. But I mean, don't get me wrong. We all want to make some money, right?
Of course. The
But
essentials.
just kind of come from the heart. Just
For sure. And you could say that it's paid off for you. Like this, like you love what you do. You're your own boss.
yeah. A while ago, once somebody was telling me, "Hey, you're a hardworking guy, Julian. This is all gonna pay off." I'm like, really? When? And not gonna lie, I can see now. And I tell some of my friends, there's a silver ladder out there, and you just gotta.
Climate. Yeah, all the way to the top.
Mm-hmm.
That's super great, super inspiring what you're doing, Julian. So moving forward, like I know that you've already rolled out. You started with your coffee, and now you rolled out your pastries, and you're doing some avocado toast on some days, your muffins. So how has that transition been for you?
It's been cool. Now, it's not just coffee anymore. Now we get to have a little selection. It's been about 4 weeks since we've have the new pastries and new avocado toast. The first 2 weeks were terrible, but the third week was getting there. This fourth week now has been whoa. It's just all about consistency. Sometimes I just want to give up, but then I realize, hey, wait, you have all this stuff. You can't just give up.
Of course, it's a work in progress. Of
Yeah.
course, you live and you learn. So talk to me a little bit about your clientele. So like, is there people who drive out of their way just to come to Mystyx, or what are some of the relationships that you've built ever since you started?
Yeah, to be honest, when we first started, we did get a lot of people from out of the area. Then they realized it's just a little stamp, but then they still had a great experience. It was just the aesthetic of just being outside and just something different. It ended up turning out to something cool. Nowadays we finally built our clientele. There's still some people that still come and visit us, and now that we have this upgrade that we've started that I've been talking about this whole 4 weeks. It's just been a really crazy work in progress, and I could finally get to say like it's built. We're out with the old and we're in with the new,
Of course.
and it's crazy. It's like we started from square one, but then I don't know, we just got back into place now.
For sure, yeah, that's really great to hear. So out with the old, in with the new. So what does the future for Mystyx Kafe look like for you, like moving forward?
Well, this whole year, what I want to do is just kind of do a lot of events. Before I wasn't able to do it. I didn't have, like I said, the equipment and the whatever to deliver, to provide the service, that I've always been wanting it to. And now this year, we finally it took us almost a year, almost 2 years to kind of get everything together, so we can finally go out there and just show the world what we can do.
Of course, yeah, that's a big idea. Just a pretty general question, but do you ever see yourself at Mystyx Kafe being like a brick and mortar, like having like an actual like station cafe outside of being like just a pop up, or is that not in the plans for you?
Definitely, that would be super cool. I would just want to save that for the future. Right now, I kind of like the way things are going. I don't like to fast forward. I like to kind of take stepping stones. I don't want to be in debt or anything. So
That's fair.
just when it's your time, it's your time. That's when just you got everybody has their own pace. I'm not in a rush. This is to me, I love doing this, so I'm just gonna continue doing this.
Of
So it's
course.
just fun.
Just enjoy it as it goes.
Mhm.
So what are some of the benefits of being pop up? Like, do you like that vibe that you're mobile, you can really just move anywhere you want, you can do events. So what are some of the benefits that you have encountered so far?
Well, to be honest, it doesn't matter if I'm inside a restaurant or if I'm outside, or I mean, it's still gonna be the same thing. So about being a pop up, the only cool thing is you get to kind of go anywhere. There's not that much crazy overhead. Being indoors is kind of, I mean, more safe. I would say. It's just more kind of where it's at. But I'm just waiting for that moment.
And so did you start this business alone, or did you have who was with you when you first envisioned this and to this day?
I kind of started the idea, and then how can I say how did I start it? It's been a while already. Me and my girlfriend kind of started this in the beginning, and ever since we are still in there. She's been with me since day one. Her family, have been more than helpful with when it comes to photography or when it comes to like logos or like any like artwork. They're really good at that, and so I think that's kind of how we first started, and we are still working on artwork. We're still working on photography at this moment, and we're still at the stand till this moment. And it's been me and my girlfriend and her brother. We've been all just kind of behind the Mystyx Instagram.
Of course, no, yeah, and I could say like your publicity is always like top notch. Like those photos are always so great. It just makes you want to like have that coffee, one
Thank you.
hundred percent. So before we leave our listeners, is there anything else you want to add? Is there anything that you want to share with our listeners? What are some of your favorite drinks, or literally anything?
It's like one of those questions they ask you like when you're in an interview, and if I have any questions. I'm sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot like
You're
that, but
good.
like I said, this is my first time ever being a part of a talk show radio. If you haven't heard of us, come check us out. We are in the corner of Rowan and Cesar Chavez from Tuesdays through Saturdays, 7 to 12.
For sure, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Julian, for joining us today. I hope that all of our listeners enjoyed listening to both our guest speakers, Ralph Walde from Aymara Peruvian Kitchen and Julian Anguiano from Mystyx Kafe. And if you want to check them out, as I recommend that you do, you can do so by following their Instagrams. You can find Aymara's Peruvian at Aymara_Peruvian_kitchen and Mystyx at Mystyx Kafe. That is MYSTYXKAFE. And let me just tell y'all, they're both located on Cesar y Chavez, like Julian said, only a couple blocks away from each other. So you can easily have Mystyx coffee in the morning and just head over to Aymara's for lunch. I know I would. So,
Well, that's a wrap for our Radio Pulso podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. Once again, I'm Kevin Martinez.
and I'm Kate Valdez. And as always, please, please, if you ever want to pitch us an idea for the radio show or our newspaper, you could just shoot us an email at Boyle Heights Beat. That is boyleheightsbeat@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from all of you, as we do pride ourselves in offering noticias por y para la comunidad. Or if you're feeling up for it, we would love to have you on our show as well. And also make sure to check us out on social media to stay up to date. You can follow our Radio Pulso Instagram at Radio Pulso. That is RRADIOPULSO.
And a big thank you to the people who make Boyle Heights Beat possible, especially Chris Kelly and Antonio Mejias Rentas. Another big thank you to our radio producer, Jackie Ramirez, and to April Aguilera for engineering the show today. We'll be back soon with our next episode. Don't forget to tune in. Until then, suerte Boyle Heights. Nos vemos en la calle.